Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this standards hearing. The first item of business is the evacuation procedure. I think all members and members of the public who are here are aware of the procedure. I would just ask that all mobile phones are set to silent. The first substantive item of business is the appointment of a chair. Could I ask for nominations for chair, please, for this meeting?
I nominate Richard Baxter-Payne for chair.
Thank you. Is there a seconder?
I'm happy to second that.
Thank you. There being no other nominations, Councillor Baxter-Payne, you are appointed as chair.
Thank you, Director Richardson. If we move on to item number 3, do we have any apologies? We have apologies from Councillor Evans. Is that the only one we're aware of? If we move on to members' declarations, do any members present have anything to declare other than that printed on the schedule? And before we move on to item 5, can I ask members in the room to introduce themselves?
So I am Councillor Brett Beetham.
And would officers like to introduce themselves as well?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'm Philip Richardson. I'm the Director for Planning and Regulation here at Nuneaton and Bedworth Borough Council. I'll be supporting the panel this afternoon in terms of the process that we're going through. My colleague, Wahida Sheikh, is standing in the shoes of the monitoring officer and will be dealing with the case from the monitoring officer's perspective. But I'll leave Wahida to introduce herself, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Wahida Sheikh, Legal Services Manager, and also stepping into the Deputy Monitoring Officer, stepping into the shoes of the Monitoring Officer today.
We're also joined this afternoon by an independent person.
Yes, good afternoon. Garth Murphy, independent person.
Councillor Condacor, you raise your hand.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to speak in favour of this being held in public. It is clearly going to be used for political mischief, this meeting, and the complainant is a political activist and agitator who has for the last few years been attacking the Labour Party and the Green Party on social media. I'm very happy to explain myself, explain the background, and also we've got a lot of related issues like my complaint of March 2021 that still has not been adjourned, even interviewed for by this council. So I think this rotten system where I get called before the Standards Committee and members of the Conservative Party do not need actually discussing in public, because it's a serious amount of bullying goes on against me. When I keep coming here, I keep volunteering to turn up to these meetings, I keep being interviewed by monitoring officers and independent people, and yet certain people have been exempt from the process because they're too busy. I also think this is an important issue to discuss because various people, including the monitoring officer, have claimed that I've called the Conservatives Nazis. That's absolutely not what happened, and is a totally dereliction of honesty.
Councillor Condacor,
so
we'll move on to that in a minute.
I do think we do need to have this in public so that all these issues can be seen by the public and I can not be bullied by this council. There is a lot of information I wish to partake, which I want to be shared with the public, and we had the bad days of the past where I used to come and get to the monitoring committee once or twice a year. I think we need to end this and we need to be constructive, and I think holding these things in public would be constructive. Thank you.
For one, you will not be bullied here this afternoon, and two, there will be no political misshanigans, as you called it. You're here because a complaint was made. We will look at it in an independent manner. There is no prejudge being made of this, and we will go through the process as set out in the Constitution. but you will not be bullied, and that is not a fair thing to say.
Chair, I wasn't accusing you of bullying, I was accusing the process of bullying. And I say I do want it held in public so that we can explain ourselves and things will not be misinterpreted.
I shall move to item number 5, which is the inclusion of the press and the public. Do I have a proposer for that? Councillor Beaton proposes.
I request my wife is allowed to stay for the meeting so that I'm not here on my own defending myself. Thank you.
Yes, Chair. We have had this situation before. Mrs. Kandaka is entitled to remain as a Mackenzie friend. We've had this discussion with her before. She knows the rules around what a Mackenzie friend can and can't do. So she can make notes for and pass, suggestions through to Councillor Kandaka as part of the process. That's perfectly acceptable in these circumstances, Chair. Just to say, Chair, before you take the vote on exclusion, you may want to listen to the monitoring officer in terms of, obviously Councillor Kandaka has made his representations on whether or not the press and public should be excluded. It's now really a case you need to hear both sides of that argument before making your decision.
I shall move to Wahida.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, whilst I would have no objection to it being held in public, the only concerns I would have is that matters arising relating, Councillor Condaka has referred to other complaints, and those are still ongoing matters, and there is a chance that those matters could come into the proceedings, and as it's an ongoing complaint, there would be concerns regarding that.
Depends how quickly you respond.
I would like to make the point that ongoing investigation has been going 21 months and is not actually ongoing. It has been stalled by the council. So I can't wait forever, and I will talk about that complaint in public if it's not resolved by the council, because if I put a complaint in and you just do not do anything with it, I can do nothing. So I'm going to start talking about these other complaints anyway in public. Thank you.
Wahida, do you want to come back in?
Chair, in which case I would object to this being in public. I would have grave concerns about an ongoing investigation being discussed in public today. As I said, that matter hasn't concluded, and it is because of prospective legal proceedings against the council. However, we're not at liberty to discuss either today.
I think we shall move on with excluding the press. Yeah. We shall move forward with item number 5, the exclusion of the press and public. Councillor Beetham has proposed that. Do we have a seconder?
I think James taken on what the monitoring officer said. I'll second that.
Councillor Shepherd has seconded that. All those in favour? That is carried. Maria, can we stop the live stream, please?